Everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Palantir goes all in on their partnership with Carasoft out in Canada, with more clues also on a better landscape coming for Palantir's FedStart program with the DoD, as well as Palantir's head of public health speaking at the Reagan Institute. So I'll just start there with the panel. Hirsch Jane, Palantir's head of public health, was part of the panel called Beyond the SCIF, Biosecurity and the Weaponization of Artificial Intelligence. Hirsch talks about Palantir's journey over the last several years and their strides into healthcare, really starting with healthcare and working closely with the government to monitor that, but eventually expanding to today from everything with supply chains to disease studies and you just name it. Now, with the additional perspective on how that plays with artificial intelligence, note the importance of national security playing a big role in this development, especially when healthcare data is involved and keeping that private. And the biggest lesson from Palantir in response to the pandemic was that the government never really was prepared for a national response, ready like we do typically with, say, like the military in responding. Now, with software and technology, the rapid innovation to get to that point is realistic and probably also with Palantir's help, but lots of work is still ahead here. So there's a lot of great points that make you think, but check out the whole panel on the Reagan Foundation's YouTube channel here. Now, a new article also just came out where defense tech firms are watching for the DoD's new strategy when it comes to implementing new technology and bringing that on. Now, Palantir is referenced a few times throughout, and it's important to remember their FedStart program when you think about this, but essentially the DoD is trying to be more connected with smaller innovative solutions, but still remaining secure, and also incentivized, though, for these small businesses to go after that. And they do note that there is some plan here, but more on the execution will be the biggest for the players here. And Palantir's head of global defense is quoted as saying they aren't quite yet there, though, at least for the incentive side for these small businesses. And this is amongst being able to get a place for the DoD just to use new software right off the shelf and not going through a whole acquisition process that it's currently using. And where they speak on the cost of entry here, this is where FedStart just screams out at me. They're trying to get all these new entrants a chance to at least be viable to work with the government. The decreasing cost in cybersecurity as well as entry is what will be the biggest factor or driver to make it easier for these small businesses. But as we all know, IL and FedRAMP aren't just super easy to obtain and maintain at such a low cost, considering these are just smaller firms. So the exciting part here is that the Pentagon said they'll have a plan to implement the strategy finished by March. So a lot of this screams FedStart to me because of the target market and capabilities that it provides in giving these small businesses a chance to vie for FedRAMP, IL5, and IL6 work, since Palantir has that infrastructure down. But we just need to be patient to see if this actually plays out in their favor. And then this morning, we've got a press release regarding the expansion of Palantir and Carasoft's partnership to deliver mission-critical software to the Canadian public sector, meaning Carasoft, on behalf of Palantir, will be able to just go ahead and supply the government in their procurement processes solutions using Palantir's products. And more specifically, they will be the sole distributor of Palantir platform under Canada's Software Licensing Supply Arrangement, or SLSA, meaning they don't have to worry about competitors trying to also implement Palantir's products under this agreement. Now, for context, back in the fall of 2023, they did start this partnership more as a pilot to see if this was effective, and seems so since they've agreed to enter into this expansion of sole distributor. And it looks to also be all of Palantir's products available up to even AIP, meaning it's not just Gotham here. They're the traditional government software product in the past, so Palantir continues to be making strides to our neighbors up north. And of course, we've got management's quotes here on continuing to grow, but it looks like we finally got some confirmation on Palantir taking action to actually expand out in Canada. Just last week, though, I did cover that interview from the gentleman quoted here, David McNaughton, who went onto the news out in Canada and basically said Canada needs to step up their spending on defense, or at least make some investments there technologically so they don't fall behind and become too reliant on their allies. Essentially, not to become complacent as we get into a more conflict-ridden world. So I'll keep an eye out to see any additional Canadian activity, but historically, it's been hush-hush without much news coming out of there. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.